Monday, the 30th day of March 2026. Hello there and welcome to UBC News Tonight. But first, let's have a look at what's making headlines at this hour. In our top stories tonight, police releases the 2025 crime report showing a reduction in crime, although MPs have poked holes in it. A State Minister for Sports Peter Ogwang reacts to the March 2026 CAF report on Hoima City Stadium. The government starts large-scale livestock vaccination campaign in Karamoja sub-region. And in sports, motocross returns over the weekend as Rwanda expected to send riders. Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcasting House here on Lionel Avenue. On sign language, it is Senyomo Yusuf and I am Rukidi Kiijjanangoma. The 2025 police crime report has revealed a 10.2% decline in crime. Police attribute this reduction to improved investigations and enhanced community policing. The report also highlights a high case backlog of over 120,000 cases, emphasizing the need for increased training and human resources. Meanwhile, land-related offenses, terrorism, political and media-related cases have registered an increase. Ivan Kahwa reports.
The Inspector General of Police Abasi Byakagaba has launched the Annual Crime Report 2025, detailing patterns of crime management and response. The report reveals a decrease in crime by 10.2% compared to 4.1% in 2024. Police registered 196,405 cases compared to 218,715 cases in 2024, indicating a crime rate of 427.8 per 100,000 people. This reduction is attributed to improved investigative capacity and the enhancement of the sub-county policing model.
We realize that there is a clear chain of command and control which has improved decision making. I'm confident that under my stewardship, the Uganda Police Force shall continue to improve command capabilities through trainings and mentorship at all levels.
99,004 suspects were arrested, of whom 79,291 were charged in court. Of these, 31,732 accused persons were convicted and sentenced, 1,244 were acquitted, and 11,340 were discharged, while 54,688 are still undergoing trial. 77,298 cases are still under inquiry, and 39,816 cases were not proceeded with.
A big part of this country still have a problem separating criminal cases from civil cases. So you find people want to settle civil matters using the criminal justice system. Now, many times when these cases are reported, the Director of Public Prosecution, our own detectives will look at them and eventually they will be able to advise, and many of those cases are referred back to go to the civil courts.
The categories with the highest number of crimes include theft with 56,360 cases, assault 28,366, sex-related offenses 12,606, domestic violence 12,361, and break-ins 11,818. Escapes from lawful custody decreased from 927 in 2024 to 789 in 2025. Economic and corruption crimes decreased from 13,107 to 11,548 in 2025. A total of 1,569 cases of narcotics and psychotropic substances were registered compared to 2,240 in 2024. This represents 30% decrease.
Now, despite the reduction in the crime rate, the detective workload ratio remains high, with a single detective, for example, working on 54 cases. This contributes to the case backlog. Now, between 2024 and 2025, the accumulative cases of backlog stood at 123,058 cases.
Now, this calls for a lot of capacity building, a lot of resourcing, so that we can be able to expedite the investigation. So that part is very important for you as we assess the performance of last year.
Land-related offences increased from 397 to 663 in 2025, while terrorism cases rose from 5 in 2024 to 8 in 2025. Political and media offences significantly increased from 105 in 2024 to 800 in 2025. Under political and media offences, incitement to violence accounted for 116 cases, promoting sectarianism for 1 case, election offences for 679 cases, and treason for 4 cases.
But we would see a lot of fights which were not necessarily presidential, but many of these cases arose from parliamentary elections. The disagreements, the fights over positions of parliament.
Police also registered 389 cases related to the parish development model, of which 228 were submitted for legal guidance and 186 taken to court. The majority of the PDM cases were registered in the Usoga East region, accounting for 47 cases. KMP South registered the highest number of cases at 13,950, followed by Ruizi, 13,416, KMP North, 13,340, North Choga, 12,728, and KMP East, 10,388.
Ivan Kahwa reporting there. The Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety has released the 2025 Police Annual Crime Report, showing that reckless driving, speeding and poor road conditions remain the leading causes of road crashes. Meanwhile, over 5,383 people died on Ugandan roads in 2025, translating to an average of about 14 deaths per day. Take a watch.
The 2025 Annual Police Crime Report shows a general reduction in the overall crime rate by 10.2%. In the same report, the Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety indicates a reduction in the number of incidents reported compared to 2024. In 2025, 322,441 incidents were registered, compared to 426,432 incidents recorded in 2024, representing a 24.4% decrease.
The motorcycles still present a high risk, and 3,224 fatal crashes were from the motorcycles.
However, the total number of road crashes increased compared to 2024. In 2025, a total of 26,044 road traffic crashes were reported, compared to 25,107 crashes recorded in 2024, representing an increase of 3.7%. Out of these, fatalities increased from 4,434 in 2024 to 4,602 in 2025, representing a 3.8% increase. Serious crashes increased from 13,134 in 2024 to 13,563 in 2025, which is a 3.3% rise, while minor crashes increased from 7,539 in 2024 to 7,879 in 2025, representing a 4.5% increase. This increase is attributed to reckless driving, speeding, and poor road conditions, among other factors.
And we need really to tame our people on speed. Last year, I would like to mention here that we hit the record that one of our drivers drove a vehicle at around 300 kilometers per hour. And I think we should be recorded in the Guinness Book that a Ugandan can drive at that speed.
The report has also identified specific days of the week that will record the highest number of crashes and has advised road users to take extra caution during those periods.
The number was recorded on Friday with 3,921, followed by Saturdays with 3,913. On Sunday, where most people are resting and they are in churches.
On record, 5,383 road traffic deaths were registered in 2025 compared to 5,144 in 2024, representing a 4.7 increase. Serious injuries rose from 17,013 in 2024 to 18,444 in 2025, an increase of 8.4%. While minor injuries slightly increased from 3,651 to 3,668, representing a 0.5%.
And therefore, we are registering the hit and run. The sooner we use NPR cameras, the better. Our physical eye may not look at a speeding vehicle and capture the 9 digits.
With a total of 5,383 deaths recorded in 2025, this translates to an average of about 14 people dying on Ugandan roads every day, a concerning trend that calls for urgent and sustainable interventions. Abdunasili Lubwama for UBC.
We'll remain with the Police Crime Report 2025 momentarily, where now a section of legislators has challenged the Police Annual Crime Report 2025 as released by the Uganda Police Force. The police report shows that the crime rate decreased by 10.2% from 218,715 in 2024 to 186,405 in 2025. Now, some members of parliament claim that the report is far from reality, dubbing it a form of self-appraisal. The legislators call for a further audit of the report to avoid doubt.
If you look at the road carnage, the very bad and nasty accidents happened last year and to the run to the general elections this year. If you look at the reckless driving, if you look at the goons plucking off number plates, if you look at all manner of traffic offenses, the roads have become unbearable for road users. Those whom you know have the right of way, every Tom, Dick, and Harry are now driving as if they have the right of way. In the place where I come from, people have turned themselves into government of sorts. They've commandeered. They are looting. We used to know that there is cattle rustling can only be in Karamoja, but it has spread to Sembabule, to Remiaga.
Because the reason the president wanted the police to be based at a parish was because they were stealing crops and animals. In the village where I was born, that stealing is still happening. People's goats are still being stolen, matoke is still being stolen. So that change of the policy of policing to go at a parish level hasn't changed anything. So when you say crimes have reduced, I don't know which crimes, because I think police doesn't consider stealing of goats and matoke as a crime, because it doesn't directly affect people, because they tend to concentrate on in urban areas where there are iron bar hitmen. So when those ones go down, then they appraise themselves as having done some work. So we'll need someone to audit the police for us to believe those figures. But if they are figures given by police, they remain police figures.
Some time back, last year, we used to have a number of posts closer to the people, but they were removed. So people would find ease to go and report because they will not incur transport costs to report their cases at the police posts. Nowadays, police posts are police stations are very, very far away from the community that it requires one to have transport to go there. And even you find that at times police request for transport to go and pick the criminals or find the criminals.
To Karamoja sub-region now, where a large-scale livestock vaccination campaign has started in Karamoja sub-region, offering renewed hope to pastoral communities. Dr. Anna Rose Ademon Okurut from the Ministry of Agriculture told UBC that the exercise by their ministry is supported by the UN Food and Agriculture Organization with funding from the European Union.
Across the dry plains of Karamoja, veterinary teams are in crowds vaccinating animals against livestock diseases. In Loro sub-county, Amdat district, over 4,500 goats, sheep, cattle were vaccinated. For communities here, livestock is a source of food, income, and a symbol of wealth, culture, and survival. Protecting these animals means protecting entire livelihoods. The campaign is targeting highly contagious and transboundary animal diseases, including peste de petit ruminant, contagious bovine pleuropneumonia, and contagious caprine pleuropneumonia.
We cannot vaccinate all of the animals, but we are looking at animals that are at the highest risk areas, the hotspots where some of these diseases. We are looking at mobility pathways where animals move to other areas, they live, where they move, they conglomerate around water resources and things like that, because those are the areas where diseases can actually pop up.
Teams are closely monitoring storage, transportation, and administration through a well-maintained cold chain system. To strengthen disease surveillance, digital tools have been introduced. Community animal health workers are using mobile applications to report outbreaks for faster response and containment.
It's good to also mention that there is a strong surveillance system that FAO has provided as support to the government. I'm making reference to the event mobile application, which some of the community animal health workers have been trained on to be able to capture disease events and communicate it directly to the Commissioner of Animal Health office.
So far, vaccination coverage in high-risk areas has exceeded 75% in grazing corridors and water points. Despite difficult terrain, poor roads, and occasional vaccine hesitancy, the campaign is gaining acceptance among herdsmen.
We lost very many animals because of those diseases.
Experts target achieving at least 80% vaccination coverage to build herd immunity and stop disease spread. The campaign marks a step to government officials say regional cooperation is key to success.
We have to work together to change the mindset that now, for us to access a better market, a more paying market, we need to vaccinate our animals.
Strengthening resilience in Karamoja. Abiona Francisco, UBC News.
Now to matters pertaining to the girl child, where in rural schools across Uganda, the number of girls missing education due to lack of access to sanitary pads and poor menstrual hygiene management is increasing. The natural biological process has become a barrier to education, dignity, and opportunity for thousands of young girls who are future leaders. We have more in this story.
In many communities, menstruation remains sensitive and stigmatizing. Cultural silence and misinformation leaves girls without the knowledge, support, or resources they need to safely manage themselves. So, from the onset, menstruation interrupts education. Absenteeism in rural schools among girls during menstrual periods, with some learners missing several days of class and eventually drop out of school. In hard-to-reach areas, access to affordable sanitary products is limited. Some girls resort to old clothes and other materials which are unsafe. They later drop out of school or risk early marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Earning society, if they could come out and learn these skills, then they can be able to help their girl children to go through these periods without very much of a challenge. But yes, money for young adolescent girls is a very, very big temptation that leads them to leave school and get married early, or maybe because they have failed to be in school, then they have nothing else to do. Definitely, they will just end up getting married at an early age and giving birth.
But in Kayunga district is a transformative initiative where over 200 girls, women and teachers have been trained to make reusable sanitary pads. During the training at Kayunga Girls School, participants from several institutions combining menstrual health education, stigma education and hands-on skills for boys were also involved.
I'll give you an example. Why we are investing in menstrual health. If a girl misses 21 days of the school term because they don't have access to sanitary pads and all that, that means their performance in school may drop. And when it drops and they drop out of school, the dropout rate will impact even the men who thought it was far from them.
For many families, even a single packet of sanitary pads is unaffordable, making reusable options a practical and sustainable solution.
But as people in community that are interested in seeing a girl child grow and thrive in community, we shall continue giving the small that we can and also teach them on how to maintain that small one that we have given them.
Sustained efforts are needed while empowering girls with knowledge on menstrual health and practical skills to keep them in school. Abiona Francisco, UBC News.
The government of Uganda has reaffirmed a commitment to increase the capitation grants to schools in order to improve the quality of education services. The chairperson of the Education Service Commission, Reverend Professor Samuel Luboga, concedes that the current capitation grant given to schools is inadequate and that government is working out a mechanism to have it increased.
Comprises of many items.
Education is an investment that transforms the country's population into productive human capital. Government has invested in making both primary and secondary education accessible to all through universal primary education and universal secondary education.
The construction, equipping and staffing of seed secondary schools in each sub-county is another key pillar targeting enhanced access to secondary education by deserving Ugandans, whether old or young. There are also reforms in the curriculum and the TVET subsector that put emphasis to practical expertise and not only the knowledge, but this is in line with the broader impact of education and learning to know, to do, to live together, and to be.
During the Education Service Commission review meeting, it was observed that the capitation grant given to schools is still low.
Shortages in capitation grants affect the level of preparation of learning process, because the schools are unable to meet the basic learning processes.
Government is planning to increase capitation grants to schools to improve the quality of education.
Efforts have been made to calculate the unit cost of taking a child through primary school, secondary school, and so on. And therefore, over the years, it has been inadequate to deliver quality service, education service. And government is in the process of raising that over the next few years to at least 3 times the present levels.
The Education Service Commission review meeting brings together stakeholders to assess the performance of the education sector. Adia Nakute, UBC.
President-elect Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has lauded the diaspora community for the support that contributed to his victory in the January 15 polls. He encouraged Ugandans living abroad to uphold the NRM principles of patriotism, Pan-Africanism and socio-economic transformation. The President's message was delivered by the NRM Secretary General Richard Todwong at the Victory Party and SACCO launch at Cape Town International Convention Centre, Cape Town, South Africa.
The NRM-leaning Uganda Diaspora members gathered to celebrate President-elect Yoweri Museveni's landslide victory for the 2026-2031 term. The Victory Party at Cape Town International Convention Centre on the theme Celebrating NRM and President Museveni's victory while advancing the 2026-2031 NRM manifesto was organized by Chief Mobilizer and Convener Philip Kakuru and other party leaders in South Africa. From Uganda was a delegation led by the NRM Secretary General Richard Todwong, who represented Yoweri Museveni. During the Victory Party celebrations, Ugandans in South Africa launched a multi-billion shilling SACCO for financial empowerment.
On the issue of the SACCO, we have with your leaders, the peers of Africa, with and the university, and we are starting
Uganda's High Commissioner to South Africa, Paul Amor, commended the bilateral ties between Uganda and South Africa and was optimistic the 2026-2031 NRM manifesto will boost economic and commercial diplomacy.
In 2023, for example, your remittances back home, this is now consolidated from around the world, reached $1.4 billion. I believe you in Southern Africa contributed significantly to this figure. And that is why you are attracting this level of support from our government and from our leaders across. And these remittances go home to support our families who have remained in Uganda.
His Excellency Amuru called upon members to concentrate on the fundamentals of unity and shared goals.
I want to extend gratitude for the mobilization you are doing to support government programs and also support the NRM government. We, however, must confront what I'm calling internal challenges with courage and clarity. I appeal for unity among us. Let us bring an end to the cliques and factions that weaken our collective voice.
The Special Presidential Advisor on Trade and NRM Party patron in South Africa, Philip Kakuru, commended the diaspora community for their collective collaboration.
Outside of Uganda of celebrating a victory of President Museveni.
He encouraged all Ugandans in the diaspora to embrace the message of economic transformation championed by Yoweri Museveni for the 2026-2031 term. He urged them to join and participate in the Diaspora SACCO.
Financial inclusion, but it will require you to participate in the process. Gwe otaddewo ki ojja kusanga nti ne President Museveni waba akuwa agamba olina ettaka tukuwanga kadde onakolako enyaanya olina ettaka wonaateeka ente ya zero grazing olina kaki tojja kusaba nti mpa ssente nga tolinawo okola ki woziteeka ziba ekiri.
The NRM Party Secretary General Richard Todwong delivered President Yoweri Museveni's message, hailing the diaspora for their support and efforts that contributed to his victory in the January presidential polls. Museveni encouraged Ugandans living abroad to uphold the NRM principles of patriotism, Pan-Africanism and socio-economic transformation to benefit from the SACCO.
It's been a long day. Thank your neighbor and tell him or her that welcome to the celebration.
The function was attended by a number of delegates from Uganda, South Africa and beyond, and all called for the strengthening of the party roots.
I received many Ugandans from abroad. By the time they plan to come back, they are already at home. Plan the exit when you are still here.
I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
It's exactly 10:30 in the studios of UBC TV. We'll now take a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
When you don't use Momo, you are forced to quarrel.
Mama, balance? Mama, abantu abakulu atandise obuyayi sente dange nizadde kolera ngobi nakolera sente dange.
Save yourself from quarreling. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3# to pay and enjoy zero charges below 5K. That's the power of Momo.
Are you a woman with a small-scale business with a dream of growing it to another level? The GROW Project is here to support you in realizing your dream.
The GROW Project is a government initiative implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and Private Sector Foundation Uganda with support from the World Bank.
We support women-owned businesses across the country to gain hands-on and business management skills through training within your location, business financing through grants and affordable loans, and infrastructure in your areas of operation to enable you to increase your productivity.
If you have a business that makes sales of up to 800,000 Uganda shillings per month, the GROW Project has the tools and resources to help you succeed. For more information, contact your district or city GROW focal person or call our toll-free line on 0800 307 777 to learn more about how you can benefit from the GROW Project's services.
The GROW Project, empowering women economically, transforming communities.
When you don't use Momo, you get insulted by strangers. Save yourself from insults. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3# to pay and enjoy zero charges below 5K. That's the power of Momo. When you don't
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. A warm welcome to those of you just joining us. Busoga College Mwiri, a historic institution, is facing a severe staffing crisis, struggling to keep afloat. The deputy head teacher, Reverend Xavier Grace Tino, told UBC that most of the available staff are not on government payroll, although academic performance has improved.
And from now, I'll move straight in your guidance, straight in the guidance of the chaplain.
Reverend Xavier Grace Tino, the deputy head teacher in charge welfare and administration of Busoga College Mwiri. For so many years, Mwiri has had has gone through a lot of changes in terms of growth and development in relationship to its academics, infrastructural growth, and all other aspects of life. We have been trying to rebuild and rebrand Mwiri to be what it is, being a center of excellence, a center of patriotism in Uganda, because as people have always been told, what happens in Mwiri impacts what happens in the country and in the whole world. So we have been trying to rebrand Mwiri to get it back to a position that is admirable, that is enviable, and because God has heard our prayers and has given us good performance in both O-level and A-level in the previous year's results, the Lord has grown us infrastructurally, the Lord has grown our relationships with all the boys, with the PTA executive and the board. We have grown good relations with parents, and the community around, we thought it was very important to thank God. As a school, we have a big challenge of human resource. We have a very big problem of human resource. Here we have 70 teachers, but only 30 are paid by government.
The State House Commissioner in charge of National Patriotism, Helen SACCO, has emphasized instilling patriotism among children at an early age. She was passing out over 3,000 patriotism students at Chitebi Secondary School. We have more in this story.
More than 3,000 students at Chitebi Secondary School have completed patriotism training program to equip them with essential life values. The ceremony featured discipline parades and coordinated drills. Students underwent one-week training in discipline, practical skills, hygiene, intended to build responsible citizens. The State House Commissioner in charge of National Patriotism, Helen SACCO, explained the significance of patriotism education for young people.
Patriotism in this country like never before. We don't want to have a generation of youth who are wasted, who are homosexuals, who don't do the right thing, who don't respect their country, who don't respect the country symbols like the flags, who don't love one another. It is the reason we are here, and it is the reason we are teaching patriotism. We want to thank Haji Kamlege, the team leader for this great school, that we are training the young people to be patriotic, to love our country, to love themselves, to love the environment and protect the environment. It is the core reason we are in this school.
School administrators and local leaders, including Haji Muhammad Kamlege, praised the initiative.
As national leaders, the president and minister decided to declare this school the National Model USE/Opulent Secondary School in Uganda on that day. Patriotism, as earlier stated, was well done. Justice was done by ours, Captain Richard Owarohanga, who is the Assistant Commissioner in charge of training. The matter was well handled. The relevance of patriotism clubs, which was highly discussed by Madame Beatrice Bananuka, we want to thank her for the work well done. Madame, discipline, patriotism, and purpose was clearly handled by Brigadier General Charity Bainabo.
The patriotism program was introduced by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni on February 14, 2009, and is implemented across various schools in the country.
I would like to leave to accept me to use English for the first time. I've never seen this before, guys. I'm not very sure.
I'm Bantu Machabe Semambo and Jamil Sekaja for ABC.
Teachers of learners with visual impairment in Mbarara City have appealed to government to provide scholastic materials and train additional teachers to support learners.
The Lion Club of Mbarara visited learners with visual impairment at St. Helena's Primary School in Mbarara City and donated materials to support them in their daily lives.
Disability is not inability, and Lions here are committing to keep supporting you, to make sure that you have a better life. And that's why today the Lions have come with the white canes.
The club president, Lion Tarsis Biamugisha, says their visit was a result of blind learners facing numerous challenges at the school.
Our preliminary activities, we came and found out that the blind pupils in this school have mobility challenges. They face obstacles in their paths, in their daily lives, and in some cases they even get injured while trying to maneuver around the compound of the school. So we found it a very good thing to donate to them white canes. We have donated a total of 21 white canes to the children or the people who are totally blind. But apart from the white canes, we also found they had other challenges. For example, they have some equipment, like the equipment that types and prints the braille. The braille are those letters that the blind people read from. So we found the machine breaks down, and they also need new machines. They also need stationery.
St. Helene's Primary School has nearly 40 learners with visual impairment, whom teachers face a challenge as they teach them.
Another challenge is the lack of a trained person in repairing and servicing Parkins brailers, as this one requires a lot of money in repairing, as at times we are forced to transport someone from either Kampala or Jinja to come and repair the machines.
We have had a list of different challenges that have been listed here. There are many, but with partnerships, collaborations, some of these things can be what? Can be done.
Your kindness is making a real difference in the lives of our learners. You have not only provided material support, but also given hope, confidence, and sense of belonging to our children.
Business news now. Farmers in Korle district have appealed for government support to sustain and expand soybean farming. They say soybean supports livelihood, where improved production will boost their incomes and food security.
Kilograms, 6,000, 7,000 kilograms. At the end of the season, you find him getting only 200 kilos. So that one, we are also calling for opportunity. If there's any way some people can help us in ensuring our farmers, I think that one could be the best option. Yeah, I also call upon the government and NGOs, come and help farmers. You know, paying that premium is not easy. You know, a farmer with the 10 acres, and you said a farmer could pay a premium of like 5 million, 10 million. It's not easy. But if they can subsidize for farmers, I think it would be much better, and I think that one would help our farmers.
I came into this one as a result of natural oil seed coming with their program to the cooperative. But before this one here, the money that I was earning from farming, it was not enough for me. But this one here now, when I included this one, I'm even happy to say that I'm paying school fees for my children. I have like 57 birds here. Now, out of these 57 birds, at this stage where they are, the price is not yet good. I want to keep them, and I sell when they are now 4 months. At 4 months, I can sell at 25, 28, 30.
The issue of food insecurity has been also addressed. Because, for example, when you look at soybean, even soybean, we crush it, we get the flour, we make it with soya milk, we make it with soy porridge, of which the issue of even malnutrition from both the children and even other adults who are malnourished. The eating and the consumption of soybean through porridge, through soybean milk is contributing so much as far as malnutrition is concerned among the children and also among the elderly people who are engaged in growing of this oilseed enterprise.
So far, we have supported the farmers to collective marketing and bulking. Yeah, this has been their biggest challenge because the middlemen actually take advantage of them, offering very small prices for the produce. We've also supported these small farmers into their groups to access a number of business development services such as insurance. We've linked them to banks for financial services. We've also linked them to other big buyers that are more established and have fair terms and prices.
Korle district there promoting the growing of soybeans. To Mbarara now, where Mbarara district stands out as one of the regions with highly impactful SACCOs. Among them is the Rukidi Farmers Savings and Credit Cooperative Society Limited in the Mbarara district that has helped every village to host an active savings group. Take a watch.
As possible
to have a culture of savings, because that money which you save, it's the money that will have an impact tomorrow on your life.
Community development is coordinated for people with shared interests working to improve their livelihoods. This is an area where savings and credit cooperative organizations have made an impact.
The wind farmers SACCO is doing well in profitability. When people are requesting for loans, they actually give them immediately. So people get attracted because of the good services of the SACCO.
In Barra districts, SACCOs are driving community development by encouraging a culture of saving and responsible borrowing.
Coordinator,
the Rukidi Farmers Savings and Credit Cooperative Society has empowered community members to save, borrow and invest in development projects. At least 8,000 residents in Rukidi sub-county are members of this SACCO.
And therefore I'm seeking and calling upon all the chairperson, boards of SACCOs, CEOs, that while they do their meetings, they patronize giving proper data to the Uganda Cooperatives and Savings Credit Union, and we patronize making a strong union.
During a recent meeting, members of the Rukidi SACCO were encouraged to maintain a strong saving culture and remain committed to repaying their loans.
Most of our clients who borrow with us and fail to pay in time, it becomes a challenge to us because there are related challenges like liquidity issues whereby we fail to meet the members' demands in time because most of the members have defaulted. Defaulting also affects our surplus, so we really call upon members to always pay in time so as to be able to generate enough income and get enough liquidity in time, serve all the members better.
Members were also cautioned against multiple borrowing, which could lead to loan defaulting.
But having very many loans, 7, 8 loans running concurrently, it is very dangerous because it can even result into, suffering of non-communicable diseases, pressure, stress-related diseases. So,
report compiled by Deo Habimana for UBC News.
Sports news now, and former Uganda Cranes legends led by Paul Sully, a 1978 AFCON finalist, and patron Paul Musisi have launched a campaign in Kagala Hill, Kachiri in Wakiso district to revive village football. The patron, Paul Musisi, says community football will create a catchment or pool for the national team.
The inaugural match between Caring Arts Schools and Chikuba Mpanga has a concept to scouts, highlighting village football as the foundation of national game. Former Uganda Cranes footballers Paul Musisi and Paul Sully formed the Former Footballers Initiative to tap into talent at village level.
Twasala okuzza omupiira ku byalo lwakubanga tukirabye nti abazanyi mu mupiira baddiridde nnyo ng'oggyeko amasomero ne abaana abatali ba masomero kizibu nnyo okubafuna okusamba tubadde tuluzinga talents nyingi nga ziri mu byalo ebyo.
Patron Paul Musisi says the team's future depends on a broader talent pool, calling the project a pipeline for tomorrow's stars.
Tuddayo wansi ne tutandika tutya ne tunoonya ebitono okuva mu under 16 abawala n'abalenzi ne tunoonya ebitone mu tiimu nga buli tiimu erina kye bayita obukulembeze. Ffe tuddirayo ddala twagazisa abantu 1 bayingire mu bukulembeze bw'omupiira, bayingire mu bukulembeze bw'omupiira, mu mupiira baguddukanye bagwagale. Kati it's not just a tournament, naye it's a project ejja okugenda bwetyo. Kakati nga tukola bwetyo kubanga it's a project tetugenda kusamba nti tusambye emipiira 2-3 giggwe, no. Abantu tubassaamu empisa, tubassaamu kye bayita fitness, tosobola kusamba mupiira nga oliani fit, tubassaamu commitment, tubassaamu determination, 1 ne tubassaamu n'ekigambo nti gwokifunamu in the end ofiiriza obulamu bwo bw'otaba serious na kino ky'okola, weefiiriza n'abakadde bo n'emikwano gyo. Kuba kati omupiira abantu ekitono ennyo nga bamuguze ssente entono ze miliyoni 3 nagayi bamuwadde 3 zokka eza $1, miliyoni 3 eza $, ssente entono nnyo mupiira ozijja mu business. Kyobola abasajja nga Abamerika bayingidde mu mupiira, Abawarabu bayingidde mu mupiira, bakyegedde nti si mafuta gokka ge galeeta ssente.
The initiative uses global platforms to boost visibility and equalize scouting opportunities. That players say it's restoring community spirit and fan engagement.
Abaana tusobole bayigiriza omupiira nga tuva mu community. Ekyokubiri n'okubalaga bali nti mu nsi yaffe erimu omupiira, baleme kulowoleza kika kimu nti omupiira guli mu bazungu. Kati ekyo nakyo tugenda ne tukibayigiriza.
I've been working in Uganda football. I also played football. I was the one who took under 23 Uganda players to all Africa games to South Africa.
Reporting for UBC, Bantu Machawe Semambo.
Very good initiative there, and of course there is big money in football today. Swimming now, and the Dolphins and Ospreys swim clubs emerged as the best two teams at the Starlings Juvenile Juniors Swimming Gala, with a Ugandan record number of 900 athletes participating in a swim meet.
On Sunday at the Time Out Leisure Park, Dolphins Swim Club and Ospreys Swim Club dominated the Starlings Junior Swim Meet.
Being a young club with young swimmers, we felt like we should combine the other clubs across Kampala and the country, and we bring together these young swimmers and help them as they try to perfect their swimming skills. Our desire is that we raise up a generation of swimmers that are going to take the swimming sport to a next level and win Uganda some medals on world events.
This third edition saw over 900 swimmers participate in the 25 meters and 50-meter races that included a special kickboard race for children below the ages of 10.
One of the races that we have in our gala is a kickboard race, like a starting race, just to show our desire to see that the swimming skills are well inculcated in the children when they are still younger, before they go on to faster racing and more well-conditioned racing.
Some of the best junior athletes included Jihan Babiye, Daniel Sebana, Aya Adams, Gianna Opolot, to mention but a few, who impressed and were filled with confidence after the meet.
I like the way that Starlings only made it one age group, like 8-year-olds only swam with 8-year-olds, because it gives them a chance to swim with each other, which is really nice because for nationals or league, they don't really get to swim a lot with the bigger kids.
I think it has given many opportunities to young swimmers to know where they are and to get motivated to keep on swimming.
And I think this Starlings Gala is important because it inspires young children to continue swimming.
This swim meet was a precursor of the Dolphins Juniors slated for this April. Marsha Mira Victor, UBC News.
And with that, we've come to the end of this second and final edition of News Tonight today, this Monday, the 30th day of March 2026. Thank you so much for having kept us company on sign language. It's been Senyomo Yusuf and Rukidi Kiijjanangoma wishing you a blessed night.
Family of the late William Ruhemba of Ntungamo announced
exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every